This, I don't know if y'all noticed, this ain't cheap here. So this, I don't know if y'all noticed, this ain't cheap here. So I've had schools raising men up who have never given alms. Are you kidding me? That means you don't believe. Are you kidding me? That means you don't believe. You're sitting around giving everybody the high five and thumbs up. You never support, but they're being raised up. No, that's out of order. That's crazy.
Elder, can you repeat that one more time, please? That statement right there. Repeat it so it echoes everywhere in the world. Again.
Go ahead. You say it for me.
If you are not giving alms, if you got short arms and deep pockets syndrome, you're not going to be raised up.
And all guile,
all trickery, deceit.
If you are not giving alms, if you got short arms and deep pockets syndrome, you're not going to be raised up.
Trickery, deceit.
You're not going to be raised up.
Trickery, deceit.
You're not going to be raised up.
You go to church, you give your money away, thinking that it's bringing you closer to God. You're under duress by these fake pastors telling you that if you do not sow a tithing, that you will not receive the kingdom of heaven and you will not be blessed.
If you are not giving alms, if you got short arms and deep pockets syndrome, you're not going to be raised up. Okay? You're going to stay in that position forever.
Exactly.
All right? That means you don't believe, just what the bishop said.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
You're not going to be raised up.
That's a lie.
You're not going to be raised up.
That's a lie.
If you are not giving alms, if you got short arms and deep pockets syndrome, you're not going to be raised up. Okay? You're going to stay in that position forever.
That's a lie.
Brother is not believe the vision. He don't see us moving forward. So why give you any position if you're not gonna? I mean, we all put our 2 cents in. So that means that they're showing that you don't believe where we want to take this.
Exactly. Exactly. You got some brothers with alligator arms. I got it. No, you don't know. Stop.
Do we steal? You better believe it.
Got some brothers with alligator arms. I got it. No, you don't know.
Do we steal? You better believe it.
So that's what they tell you. See, if you give your tithe, that you will receive a blessing from God.
If you are not giving alms, if you got short arms and deep pockets syndrome, you're not going to be raised up. Okay? You're going to stay in that position forever.
Hypocrisy.
You're not going to be raised up.
That's a lie.
You get right?
Yeah.
Pull out the scripture that a person that desires the office of a bishop must be blameless. But I haven't seen one blameless man go into ranking positions nowhere since I was in that organization, right? But they'll pull these scriptures out, and I look at these scriptures literal. They say he must be blameless, but there ain't one blameless man. I used to tell them, there's a scripture that says, the Most High promotes and the Most High demotes. So they'll use that as well as a scripture to say that it's not us doing it, it's the Most High. But I said, well, y'all say that this is the Most High's work, but I see men calling the shots.
Do you? What?
I'm going to say this here real quick and I'm going to let you move on. If you ask me, a lot of people got their rank by ass kissing. A lot of people got their rank by, if they're more financially fit than other people, and their wife is heavy with favors, she's a good cook, and she pays for a lot of things out of her pocket, and she gives the officer, and she gives the captain things, and she makes the bishop muffins and gives him free garments she made especially for him with rhinestones and all that type of stuff. Oh, those people are going to be favored in a certain type of way, and 10 times out of 10, they're probably going to give that brother a soldier's or a captain's test, because you have to take a test to move up into rank. And the first one will be a soldier's test, and there's questions on it. So that's how that goes. They don't just give it to you. You have to take a test.
So this is the same thing that went on back in Old One West, because there was a brother named Haragaja, and the brother came into school giving out Rolex watches and giving money and making promises, and they want to raise him up in rank right away, and that is filthy lucre. It's the same thing. It's just a repeat of the past. All right.
Giving all praises to the Most High, Elohim, and His Word and His truth. I'm back with another crazy exposed video. The Islamic and 501c3 connection. This is going to be crazy. But let me start here with Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. Expose them. And this is what I am going to do. But I want to recap for the things that I've exposed already. So far, okay, we've been exposing Iuic. As you know, I've been building up a strong case for many things that have been going on. There's a lot of deception going on, but now I understand why. Okay, so what we've exposed so far is the satanic hand signs that Nathaniel Ray of Iuic has been throwing up, just like all your Christian pastors, okay, have been throwing up. So these are the similarities that we see here, all right, throwing up these devil horns. And I showed y'all he knows exactly what that means, okay, throwing it up at his people, throwing it up towards the Bible, the scriptures, our book, okay. Then I showed y'all the Freemasonry connection, okay, with the garments, okay, you can't deny it, the designs, you cannot deny these things. However, you can, but just to back it up and to add on, okay, when you look at the black Freemasons, the black Masons, look at their armbands. Look at their armbands. It's the same type of armband that he wears. You see, the devil has to be very crafty, okay? Has to be very crafty. So this is no coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences here, okay? There is no coincidence here. The same armbands that they wear in this Freemasonry thing is the same thing that he's wearing. Just like if you look at a 33rd degree Freemason's hat, okay? That purple and gold. It goes right with their garment. It goes perfect with it, okay? Also, just to confirm it again, if you look at their video, O Nation of Israel, okay, with this clown Asaph, if you look at the middle end of their video, you will see them lined up in a V or pyramid formation, okay? Pyramid formation. Just like the black Freemasons, okay? Is this a coincidence here? No, it's not. We have all these things adding up here. This is very clear. This is not a coincidence. But yet people will shove it off like it's nothing. But here you go. This guy is doing all these things in connection with Freemasonry, okay? In connection with Freemasonry. You can't deny this. Okay? Just like I showed y'all with the with his garments, the money green garments, and he had the pyramid on his garment, and they were lined up in that pyramid A formation. Okay? It's the same thing, y'all. Okay, the devil has to show himself. Okay? In connection with the A in the circle, which is anarchy, okay? This is a symbol that they always use in these movies, okay? Anarchy, which means making order out of chaos, okay? And that's what they're doing. So we have to notice these patterns, okay? Just like how you know your mother and your father, they have a pattern of the way they do things. Or if you have children, they have a pattern of the way they do things, okay? Just like the way the Most High speaks. The Most High has a pattern of the way he does things, okay? And the devil has a pattern the way he does things. And that's how you can spot and discern a devil, by his patterns of behavior, okay? So let's get into this Islamic and 501c3 connection, and let's expose these dummies.
Hi, Daniel Sweet here from God's Word First Christian Ministry. You know, I was just thinking about something and I wanted to share with you. You guys know what separation of church and state is? That is where the government has decided that church needs to be separate from the state. And, you know, like it or not, I think just on a legal basis, it's probably pretty good. But here's the really weird thing. Did you know that a nonprofit organization, such as a church that has a nonprofit status, is actually owned by the state? Is actually owned by the state? Is actually owned by the state? Think about that for a second. Read the fine paperwork in a 501c3 corporation, like what you get from the government. You just research it online. That doesn't sound like separation of church and state to me. That doesn't sound like separation of church and state to me.
We have been espoused to Christ as a virgin, meaning we're not defiled with the wickedness of the world. We've come out of that.
That doesn't sound like separation of church and state to me.
We're not defiled with the wickedness of the world. We've come out of that.
Dummies! That doesn't sound like separation of church and state to me.
We're not defiled with the wickedness of the world. We've come out of that. Hypocrisy.
When you start a 501c3 corporation, you want to start a church, and you want to be tax exempt, the government owns your church, man. Dummies! The government owns your church, man. Dummies! The government owns your church, man. Government owns your church, man. That is not separation of church and state when the state owns the church. So that's something you guys got to really think about. When you want to do a good work for the Lord, and you want to bring people together, and you want to own this for yourself and say, look, God, this is what I do, this is what I own. But you go and you do a tax exempt thing, you know you're just handing it to the government. The government owns it.
We're not defiled with the wickedness of the world. We've come out of that.
You know you're just handing it to the government. The government owns it.
Again, back then I didn't know that they were actually a government organization. I thought NASAP were the ones that said they were basically the ones that said, we know, because I started to watch other just videos. They told us, quote, stay off of YouTube. You are not to be on YouTube. You are forbidden to be on YouTube. And we know which one of you are on YouTube. We know what you're doing. We know when you're on there. We know how long you're in there. We know exactly what you're watching. We can see. That is what they told us. And you all know that we're listening. You brothers and sisters know that that's true.
You know, if any one of you guys out there are thinking about starting a church, that is so cool. Actually, just like go for it. But don't do the 501c3 until you read all the fine paperwork and you talk to an attorney who knows this really, really well. Because if you go into this and you just hand it over, man, there's so many implications there. What's God going to say in the end? And you say, look what I did, God. And you say, but you gave it to a corrupt government. And they owned it.
We're not defiled with the wickedness of the world. We've come out of that.
But you gave it to a corrupt government. Dummies!
We're not defiled with the wickedness of the world. We've come out of that.
But you gave it to a corrupt government. Dummies! But you gave it to a corrupt government. Dummies! But you gave it to a corrupt government.
We couldn't have Israel united. At one point when we grow, we get big, we got to deal with Esau's paperwork.
Hypocrisy.
We got to deal with Esau's paperwork.
Hypocrisy.
That's right.
Okay? We got to deal with them.
But you gave it to a corrupt government. And they owned it. I don't know. Just kind of thinking. So, you know, look into it. God bless.
But it's not going to be tax deductible under 501c3. We're not going to play that game. I did that for 35 years. I could tell you some horror stories of what that produces. And I got to tell you that I didn't even realize the depth of the stranglehold that those tax codes hold over pastors and deacons and trustees and church officers and the churches themselves until not too long ago. And when we moved here and started this ministry, and I'm not going to give you all the details. It's not necessary that I do that, but the depth of intimidation and evil that is held over the necks and the heads of churches relative to the 501c3 tax exempt status cannot be overstated. It's worse than you think it is. And it's worse than I thought it was. I'm just here to tell you by living testimonial that it is worse than you can possibly imagine. And so when you think about these churches, and why are they refusing to speak out? Why are they not taking a stand? Why are they not standing up in the pulpits and telling their people about the Sheriff's First Bill? Why are they not talking about the freedom issues, the constitutional issues of our state and of our community? It's because of that 501c3 tax-exempt status that's held over their head by the Internal Revenue Service. That was put in place back in the 1950s by a Texas senator who then became later president of the United States by the name of Lyndon Baines Johnson. That's who we owe this 501c3 monstrosity to, is to Lyndon Johnson. And his goal was to silence the pulpits and to keep them out of politics. And you know what? He succeeded. He succeeded. To the point that our churches today are, for the most part, totally irrelevant to anything that's going on in Washington, D.C. or Helena or anywhere else in the political world. Most churches are totally irrelevant to anything that's going on. And that's why all these things continue to happen. And that's why Christians hold up their hands in dismay and say, why is this happening? And why are we letting this happen? It's because the pastors and churches are strangled by that 501c3 tax-exempt status. So we're going to do our best to not go that route, and we're not going to go that route. If we fail and we're not able to continue Liberty Fellowship because of the lack of support and people want a tax deduction for their gift, then so be it. But we are not going to compromise the truth or the message of right for the sake of a tax-exempt status from the Internal Revenue Service. I'm not going to do it.
Let's first look at the First Amendment, of the U.S. Constitution. Let's start here. The First Amendment guarantees freedoms concerning religion, expression, assembly, and the right to petition. It forbids Congress, the government, from both promoting one religion over others and also restricting an individual's religious practices. It guarantees freedom of expression by prohibiting Congress from restricting the press or the rights of individuals to speak freely. It also guarantees the right of citizens to assemble peaceably and to petition their government. So we see here this First Amendment is what what is known as separation of church and state by your First Amendment right here. So the government should not have any dealings with a church or your church. This is dealing with Christians too, for those that claim to be in these Christian churches. So the government has no right over your church. And it's supposed to be a separation from church and state. This is very important when finding out about the 501c3, or for those that join and that form this 501c3 type church. You will realize you are now in a business with the government. Your church is no longer free to do what it wants at the end of the day, though you may think so. Now, if we go to this site here, IsraelitesUnite.com, I thought they bring out some great information concerning this 501c3 tax exempt. When you start these 501c3, you are now putting your people, in bondage, putting your people in the hands of the government, and not in the hands of Christ or the Mashiach or the Most High, You are now in the hands of the government. It's government controlled, Christ is supposed to be the head of your church, of your organization, not the government to have control. So now you are in business with the government, You are no longer a camp or a solo set apart Israel or set apart Israelites. You are in bed with the government. This confirms the things that I have brought out in previous lessons, okay, with these Freemasons, okay? So now let's see who came up with the 501c3. And who do we have the pleasure of seeing right here is your wonderful so-called white man by Lyndon B. Johnson. Now, these Hebrew Israelites would call him an Edomite.
The Edomite, the devil, the white man. Okay? We couldn't have Israel united. At one point when we grow and we get big, we got to deal with Esau's paperwork.
That's right.
Okay? We got to deal with them.
So he's the one that has come up with this 501c3, okay? These Israelites would call this guy an Edomite, which the so-called white man is not an Edomite. He's a heathen. He's a heathen. He is not Esau. But since they're saying he is Esau, why would you follow something that Esau started? Pretty interesting to me. Okay, but let's read here. Let's read here a little bit now. Most churches in America have organized 501c3 tax-exempt religious organizations. This is a fairly recent trend that has only been going on for about 50 years. Churches were only added to Section 501c3 of the tax code in 1954. House Resolution 235 was designed to revise the IRS code to remove restrictions placed on churches and nonprofit organizations in 1954 by then Senator Lyndon Johnson. Prior to 1954, churches and nonprofit organizations had no such restrictions on their freedom of speech or their right to speak out in favor or against political issues or candidates. The history of Johnson's IRS gag order is intrusive. It began with what some historians believe to be a fraudulent election of Johnson to the Senate in 1948. 1948? Same time the fake Jews went over there in Israel? Wow, interesting. It has been maintained by both conservative and liberal historians that Lyndon Johnson's election to the Senate in 1948 was won by massive voter fraud. Okay, so here's your fraudulent man, whom you or these Hebrews would call an Edomite. This is what you're following. Dummies! This is what you're following. Okay, this man here who started the 501c3, okay? Here he goes right here. This is your man. So your church or your camp is following what you or what these clowns would call an Edomite, who's really a heathen. But it's so funny how they say the white man is the devil, but yet they turn around and follow the devil, and they will fix their mouth to say, well, this is the Most High's mercies. Okay, the Most High is allowing us to do these things.
These different things that the Most High has allowed in the system is considered the Most High's mercies.
Exactly.
Interesting. Is he really now? Or are you really wicked doing something else because you are in love with money, filthy lucre? Okay? Okay. Let's see here. What are the results when a church incorporates and surrenders itself to the jurisdiction of the state? The church is, number one, the church is no longer considered a real institution, but it goes through a transformation and becomes a fictitious state-created person or institution. Interesting. State-created. Wow. Government agents, like I've been saying. Hello. Number two, the church comes under the jurisdiction of the state and therefore surrenders its headship to the state. So who is your head? Isn't the Mashiach, the one you call Christ, your head? So here it goes. Therefore surrenders its headship to the state. Okay, so the Mashiach is no longer your head. You have just given away your people into the hands of the state. The same people oppressing you, the same people killing you, poisoning you, harassing you, persecuting you. You have given them into their hands. So when martial law and all these things come down the pipeline, let's see who's going to really be for you. Okay? Your headship. Okay, so the Mashiach is not there. The Most High is not running that. Number 4, the church must open its books and all practices to the investigation of the state. Investigation? So that reminds me of the ex-Iuic member when she said how they were like, don't go on YouTube. They want your information. We know what you're watching. Sounds like an investigation to me. Sounds like somebody's watching to me and keeping a lookout on their people. State investigation? Wow. This would include church membership rolls, Christian school records, regulations on all functions of the church and any of its ministries. And we don't even have to go any further. But this sounds like government interference, which makes sense why these things are happening in IUIC the way they are happening. So this is the last thing that I want to read here, okay? Christian churches, ministries, and organizations may not do the following. I just want to read some. Expose conspiracies, okay? Criticize the New World Order. But now here's a really interesting one. Number 24. Criticize the Masonic Lodge. Wow, really? You can't do that? Now, I just showed y'all these guys are Masons, okay? It is very clear that these brothers are into Freemasonry hard. But here it goes. You cannot criticize the Masonic Lodge, okay? The Order of Skull and Bones or other secret societies. Really interesting information. Now, let's go into some scriptures to see if the Mashiach, the one they call Christ, would approve of this 501c3. Let's just examine some scriptures real quick. If we go to Colossians chapter 1, verse 18, okay, remember it said that how the church, okay, the IRS basically, you surrender your headship. Okay, you surrender your headship. So if we go Colossians chapter 1, verse 18, and he is the head of the body, okay, the church, okay, he is the head of the body, the Mashiach. So if you're surrendering your headship, okay, to the state, the Mashiach, the one they call Christ, he is not in that. He is not a part of that. Okay, he's not a part of that. Who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have the preeminence. Okay, so he doesn't have the preeminence there. Okay, you have sold out to the state who has your headship now. Okay, going back to Ephesians 5, verse 23 and 24. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ, the Mashiach, even as the Mashiach is the head of the church. But since you already surrendered your headship to the state, he is not there. And he is the savior of the body. Okay. Therefore, as the church is subject unto the Mashiach, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Okay. So the Mashiach is not there. You surrendered your headship to the state. And it's not supposed to be church and state together. That's not supposed to mix. But let's go here. 2 Corinthians 6, chapter 7. Wherefore come out from among them, right? They always teach you come out from among them, right? Be ye separate, be set apart, saith the Most High. Touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. Come out from among them. So who are you among? Your church is given into the hands of the state. Come out from among them, then the Most High will receive you. Okay? You've given your people into the hands of the state. So the Mashiach is not and will not approve of that. But let's go to a famous scripture that they all use, right? Because they claim America is Babylon. Okay, though it's not in the scriptures, the Most High tells you where Babylon is precisely. But let's go here. Revelation chapter 18 and 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people. This is the scripture that they would use. That you be not partakers of her sins. Okay? And that you receive not of her plagues. So if they say America's Babylon and to come out of America, yet their group is in a contract or a covenant with her, i.e. 501c3, how does that make sense? How can you come out of her if you have just went in her with a contract with the devil that you claim is the devil?
Edomite, the devil, the white man.
I think that's kind of hypocritical. Very hypocritical here. Okay? So, not looking so blameless here. Iuic, business corporation with the state. Okay? Now let's go here. First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men. Wicked men who did what? Who persuaded many saying, let us go and make a covenant or an agreement, 501c3, with the heathen. I told y'all the so-called white man is the heathen, okay? The heathen, not Esau. That are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So these wicked men went to make a covenant with the heathen, which is going on right now. Okay, verse 12 and 13. So this device pleased them well. Yeah, they are very happy about this thing, right? Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. So now they have a license to set up these 501c3 churches all over, okay? Dealing with the state, who is your head, your head. You see that? So the Mashiach would not approve of this, and this would be deemed as wicked, going to make a covenant with the heathen. But they'll tell you, yeah, you know, we got to do what we got to do to help Israel. But then they'll say, oh, Esau is the white man. He's the devil. But you're now in contract with him. It's very hypocritical to those that have a brain. Okay, to those that have a brain. Exodus chapter 34 and 12. Take heed to yourself, lest thou make a covenant, an agreement with the inhabitants of the land. We know this is not our land here. Whether thou goest, lest it be for a snare in the midst of you. Because this is a snare. You've set up this 501c3 with the government, tax exempt, with the government who has your headship. So if anything goes down, they know where to find you. They have your information. They coming after you. Okay, when it all boils down into Jacob's trouble. So you better open your eyes. Okay, you better open your eyes. But these clowns will say, you know, when we get big, we got to deal with Esau's paperwork.
The Edomite, the devil, the white man.
At one point when we grow and we get big, we got to deal with Esau's paperwork.
That's right.
Okay? We got to deal with them.
Hypocrisy.
Really? Number one is the white man's not Esau. And if he was, you're saying you got to deal with his paperwork when you get big? No, you don't, because you don't have to file a 501c3 with the government. You can have your organization without filing that. You did that on purpose because you're some greedy devils. That's why. You're some greedy devils, but you're calling Esau the devil. Okay, you're calling the white man the devil, but yet you're making a contract with him. Doesn't make no sense. Doesn't at all. 2 Maccabees chapter 4, verse 15. Not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Greeks best of all. You see that? And that's what's going on right here. Okay? They're not setting by the honors of their fathers, of our fathers. Our forefathers would have never did this. And if they did, as we saw in 1 Maccabees, it would be deemed as wicked. Deemed as wicked, as wicked. This is not of the Most High. The Most High is not there. He is not operating this thing. Okay? This is part of the deceived, the deception, okay? You fell into those hands, the hands of the devil, okay? Those that you're claiming to be the devil, and you made a contract with them, okay? Very hypocritical, all right? But let's go here to add to that. Isaiah chapter 28, verse 15. Because you have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement? When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge. Yes, all these false doctrines, okay, in this 501c3, okay, under falsehood, we hid ourselves. Okay, have we hid ourselves? Yes, hiding under this 501c3, acting like you're doing this for your people when you're really not at the end of the day, when you really get to digging. Okay, verse 18, and your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand when the overflowing scourge shall pass through. Then ye shall be trodden down by it. Okay, so your covenant with death, okay, with the devil, okay, there you go. Hypocrites.
The people want to know. The people want to know why you guys are labeled tax exempt and why you guys have the 501c3 and you're labeled Islamic. We just want to know why you're labeled Islamic. Okay, if this is like a Christian group, why are you guys named Islamic? Can somebody in that leadership tell us? And please don't tell us it was a mistake. That's the biggest lie. You can correct mistakes. Why are you guys under a 501c3 and labeled as an Islamic group? That's confusion. That's confusion right there. Why the hell are you guys labeled as Islamic, and why are you tax exempt just like the Christian church?
So now the question is, being that Nathaniel has this 501c3, and we see all the implications here with this 501c3 tax exempt thing, the question is, why in the Most High's name, would he label his corporation, his business, Islamic? Why on earth would he do that? Okay, he's already putting his people in the hands of the enemy. And then on top of that, he's going to label it Islamic? Why would he do this thing here? And see, this is how we're starting to see the devil for what he really is. Right here. This is it. Okay, why would he do that? Okay, and this is a paper trail now. So it's no more a conspiracy. Oh, well, look at his garments and look at him throwing up his hand signs. We can easily dismiss those things, right? We can easily just say, whatever. But this is paperwork now. This is paperwork. Why would he do that? Now we see him putting on paper who he really is. But I want to go into a video, this brother's video. He exposed this, didn't get the exposure needed. So I want to show this here. And I want y'all to hear his take on what he did. I thought this was pretty good that he exposed this. Okay, I want to bring this in.
We have one result. Israel United in Christ Inc. Nathaniel Ray. This is this guy right here. So this is not something that we are making up. This is stuff that you can go look up for yourself. Let's click it. It said religious organization. Let's scroll down. Organization name and address, Israel United in Christ, Inc. P.O. Box, Newburgh, New York. In care of name, the officer, director, etc., to whose attention any correspondence should be directed. Nathaniel Ray. This is the guy who's running it. Classifications, categories under which an organization may be tax exempt. So they are tax exempt under what? The 501c3 religious organization. Taxonomy classifies an exempt Internal Revenue Code 501c3 organization. Islamic. This is not something that you just put on there or that the IRS accidentally puts on there. You have to classify yourself as this. This is not by accident. They chose this. So why would a Israelite organization who claims to be speaking the truth, why would they file their 501c corporation under Islamic? Now, I know what some of you are probably saying. Well, they chose Islamic because they didn't want to choose Christian, because they don't go by the name of Christian. I can roll with that argument. I got something for you, though. Same website, you type in Jew, right? Let's scroll down. Scroll down, it has different Jewish organizations, but we want to find a religious organization. Let's try this one, Academy of Ancient Jewish Music. Taxonomy, cultural, ethnic awareness. You see that it is a completely different category. Let's go back. Let's go back to page 2. So why would they not file in a way where they didn't have to put Islamic? Why would they put Islamic? Adopt Emmanuel Jewish Reform Congregation, Inc. Classifications, 501c3, religious organization. Taxonomy. Oh, what does that say? That says Jewish. So you have to put this information based off of how you file. So why would a group that claims they believe or follow the Bible, follow Christ, file their 501c3 tax-exempt corporation, because that's what it is, it's just a nonprofit, why would they file it as Islamic? And if it was by accident, which it's not, why would they not change it? They could have easily got it under Jewish or something else, but it says Islamic. Let's go here now, and we see we have Hebrew, because they could have filed under Hebrew, right? So if we go down, let's click this one. Adas, Israel, Hebrew, Congregation. Classification, 501c3, religious organization. Taxonomy, Jewish. They could have easily categorize themselves under Jewish, because you have to choose it. You have to. Unless you have it set up with a way where it says NR, you have to. So why do they have theirs as Islamic? Because that's what they are. And I'm leaning toward Nathaniel being Esau, from the lineage of Esau, but perpetrating himself as an Israelite. Because they will push the doctrine that Esau is a white man, when the Bible doesn't teach that. Esau is a man of color.
Got him.
We have Islam right here, just for, argument's sake. Let's click this one. And you can go through these different organizations and do this yourself if you want to, and see the statuses and the taxonomy and all this other stuff. AGA, Islamic Organization, Inc. Let's go down. Same information, right? They got their tax ID number. They got the in-care name of, this is the God just like all we saw with Israel United in Christ. Let's go back. Where we at right here? Yeah. In care of name, Nathaniel Ray. Classifications, 501c3, religious organization. Taxonomy, Islamic. Now let's go back. Classifications, 501c3, religious organization. See if we can find it. Oh, taxonomy, Islamic. We saw the rest of them that were not Islamic. We looked at the Hebrew, different organizations. We looked at the Jew organizations that are out there under the same status of 501c3, and they did not list Islamic. This group has just been exposed. This man is not who you think he is. Israel United in Christ is not what you think it is. I just proved it to you. And that was only the surface. I could have went through the other stuff. But I decided to take another route. A route more refined, a route that's deeper and clearly exposing what they are really about. You need to watch out for this group. If you are in one of these camps, you need to come out of it.
So we see here the brother was exposing them, being labeling, and this was 2017. Okay, 2017. He was labeled as Islamic. Okay, and his brother was exposing this thing here, and then he went and changed it. Now, I'm still stuck. Like, why would you do that, though? Okay, why would he do that? And as we go further in this lesson, we're going to see why he did it, which is going to confirm my previous video. Okay, why would you do such a thing? Well, what is up with that? Why? And it goes back to the scripture I brought out before. Woe unto them who seek deep to hide their counsel from the Most High, whose works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, who knoweth us. Okay? So this is why he changed it now. If you go look up on the tax exempt world, you look up IUIC, okay, you will see that he's now changed it now to Christian. Okay, so now this is a Christian church now, a Christian organization. At first it was Islamic, but since now people are doing their homework, he changed it now to Christian. And the ironic thing, the hypocrisy, once again, is that they'll make fun of Christians.
When you see Israelites, dumb, unlearned Israelites, say the mark of the beast is a microchip, they got it from Christianity. And God, the Lord is not dealing with them. Mark my words. The Lord is the trick that Hebrew Christians use. Go into the language arc. Because when you go into the Greek, it says, what's the word? Some Gawadma. That means like a tattoo on your head, arc.
In Christianity, some believe the implantation of chips may be the fulfillment of the prophecy of the mark of the beast.
And where
of the mark of
the top. Where's where it come from? In Christianity. Oh, white people. That's where it comes from. Go ahead.
Okay, but yet now your organization is labeled as Christian. So when these Hebrew Israelites claim to be in the truth, is like, but you're labeled as Christian, dude. You're labeled as Christian, so you don't even have the authority to even make fun of Christians anymore. You don't have that power. Your power is given into the state. You're a corporation. You're a business. Okay? And the funny thing is that they'll have all these Hebrew names, but yet they're still calling on the one they call Christ. They're still calling Christ. Calling his name Christ. Okay? The Mashiach. That's the funny thing. That's just like, it's kind of twisted. It's kind of backwards. But again, why would you label it Islamic? Why? Okay? So let's get into that.
What does Freemasonry teach? Well, Jesus, the son of Joseph, the Lord, the Messiah, and the apostles, and after, the son of Abdullah, with his law, which is the law of Islam, and the disciples of truth followed the law of Islam. The what? The disciples of truth followed Islam.
So you see here, Freemasonry, they teach the disciples of truth followed Islam. Right here, I already proved to y'all that this guy is a Freemason. Okay, I proved this thing. But now we see here in this whole Freemasonry, they teach that the disciples of truth followed Islam. Do you see the connection here? This is huge. This is big. And this is why Nathaniel labeled his group, okay, his business, his corporation, IUIC, which is under the government, Islamic. Okay, this is why he labeled it Islamic, because it confirms he is a Freemasonry, confirming my last video that it is truthful. Okay, because we see here in his corporation, it's labeled Islamic. It's labeled Islamic. Why? Because that's what Freemasons teach.
I started to study Islam.
He teaches the disciples of truth, which he is pretending to be. Okay, they followed Islam. That's what they believe. Okay, that's what they believe. Okay, and even with the government, they have a statue of a bust of Muhammad in the Supreme Court. But I'll show that later on down the line. But you see right here, this is connected. So let's go back to a movie clip with Superman versus Batman now.
Take one step. You will see the inside of her head.
So now we see here, okay, when Superman busted in, we see the Arab here, okay, and then we see behind Superman the checkered staircase, which looks like it's going up in a pyramid form. Okay, it's going up in a pyramid with the checkered stairs in the background. Okay, that's why I showed y'all in the last video, the Freemasonry connection with IUIC. I was showing this idiot Asaph here dancing on the checkered squares and pillars. Okay, and he's saying, look at what we building. Look at what we're building here. So you see the connection right here. Okay, Arab right here. And then you see the checkered staircase in the background, look like it's going up in a pyramid. Okay, which confirms why they had the pyramid on the hem of their garments, okay, on their garments, okay. It's all connected to Freemasonry, confirming what we just saw. The disciples of truth followed Islam. That's why his corporation is labeled Islamic, okay. In this film, this movie, Batman versus Superman, it also connects to the movie The Matrix, okay, with Neo. When they were going upstairs to see Morpheus, you see the staircase with the checkered floor, okay? So you can just connect that staircase that's behind Superman, and if you were actually walking up that staircase in the Matrix movie, it's all connected with the checkered floor, connecting back to IUIC in their subliminal messages in their videos. Look at what we building, because these clowns, these devils, okay, these dummy doctrine pushers, they are Freemasons, okay, putting things in plain sight like they do in these movies. So all praises to the Most High for giving me the sight to see these things and put it together so you can see they're devils at the end of the day. Okay, this also connects back to the movie Black Gold, where the Arab, he was holding the spatula, just like George Washington. Okay, George Washington, a Freemason. Okay, the Masonic. Okay, he was a building. Okay, this whole Masonic thing is a builder, a master mason. Okay, and it's showing you that here in the film. Okay, he was showing the spatula that he had, and he's laying the bricks on top of one another, okay? Building, Freemasonry. And then you see him throwing up the 666, which Nathaniel always throws up in his classroom. All connected. The Arabs, that's why he's labeled his corporation Islamic. Now we see the deep hidden connections. Woe unto them who seek deep to hide their counsel from the Most High, whose works are in the dark, who say, who seeth us, who knoweth us? But it gets deeper.
In addition, the shrine. Ancient Arabic order, nobles of the mystic shrine, is available to 32nd degree Masons and Knights Templar who wish to participate. So the highest order is available, those are highest order, and become Shriners. The ancient Arabic order, nobles of the mystic shrine, the show army of Masonry. Maintains a very high profile. It is necessary to be a 32nd degree Mason for 6 months before being eligible to join the shrine. Only the highest Freemasons may join the shrine.
Okay, so you see that these Freemasons at this 32nd degree order are able to participate in the shrine, which is an ancient Arabic order. Okay, and this is why you see these Europeans with these fez hats on in the name of Allah or Islam or so forth and so on. Okay, or Arabia. Okay, because it's all connected with Freemasonry. Okay, it's all connected. This is why this is confirming for you right here why his camp is labeled, or he labeled his camp Islamic, because he is a high level Freemason. Okay, 32nd degree, even 33rd degree. Because if I showed y'all, if you look at a 33rd degrees Freemason hat, if you look at the hat and you look at the colors, Okay, that purple and yellow would go perfect with that IUIC garment, that Freemasonry looking garment that I was explaining in the video. Okay, in my last video. Okay, so right here we see 32nd degree Freemasons are able to participate as a Shriner, which is in an ancient Arabic order. Okay, right here for you. Let's keep going.
The shrine is in the name of Allah. Did you know that? So here Christians of, so-called Christians of the 32nd degree, who now know already that they worship Lucifer, come to the shrine with the Quran on the altar. Now the Bible's gone. When you reach the highest level of Freemasonry and you become a Shriner, the Bible's gone. When you reach the highest level of Freemasonry and you become a Shriner, the Bible's gone.
So what does this mean? Because right here,
Those same things they do in secret.
right here,
Those same things they do in secret.
the faith of Christ, right here,
See that? When you reach the highest level of Freemasonry, the Bible is gone now. It's gone. Okay? You're dealing with the Quran now. Now we see why this guy throws up the devil horns in his classroom and why he was throwing up the devil horns towards the Bible. Okay, because he's a devil worshiper. Now we understand, confirming that he is a high level Freemason. And that's why I was showing y'all, with his garments, their formation, the line formation. Okay, it all goes back to these Freemasons, to these Masons, basically. Okay. Under the so-called white man that he's telling you is the devil, he's following them. Okay. And then he's telling you he's Esau, which is another dummy doctrine. Okay. But only those that are seeing these connections will understand that he has to teach you that Esau is the white man. He can't teach you the truth. Okay. Clearly, we're seeing all this stuff really clear here. Why he has to teach these false doctrines. Okay? But y'all think, y'all so caught up in the delusion, y'all think we bugging out when we say these things. Okay? But you see right here, the man is deceiving you.
We sealed our solemn oath in the name of Allah, the God of the Arab, the Muslim, the Mohammedan, the God of our fathers. Wow. Is Allah the God of our fathers? Here's the oath. In willful violation whereof I incur the fearful penalty of having my eyeballs pierced to the center with three-edged blade, my feet flayed, and I be forced to walk the hot sands upon the sterile shores of the Red Sea until the flaming sun shall strike me with a livid plague. And may Allah, the God of Arab, Muslim, and Mohammedan, the God of our fathers, support me to the entire fulfillment of the same. Can a Christian make such an oath? Yes or no? Obviously not. So Masonry is nothing other than the ancient mystery religion, and Jesuits are the ancient mystery religion, and Islam is the ancient mystery religion behind the scenes.
So now we see here this whole Freemasonry thing, man. You have to make an oath. You have to make an oath. This is in secrecy. Okay? All connected to Islam, which confirms why his corporation business would be labeled as Islamic. Okay, he has made an oath to this. Okay, he has sworn to death. Y'all don't understand. This is an oath to death to this Freemasonry thing. So of course he cannot tell you the truth. Of course he cannot reveal these things to you, those that are at the bottom. Okay, you're just holding up his deception. Okay, pretending to be a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, he's probably a damn Edomite, the real Edomites, the Arabs, one of the Arab tribes. Okay, so I mean, it's crazy. This thing is deep. It is heavy. But y'all all falling for the deception.
All of us at one time took part of some of those things.
Okay, define Lucifer for me.
Pure, virtuous, wholesome, innocent individual that's out to help people.
Lucifer is?
Yeah.
Say that again. Lucifer is a pure, holy...
Virtuous.
Virtuous. Now, is he the Lucifer that God created?
That's the same one.
Oh man, this is great. I'm going to put this on the internet.
Oh,
Amen.
God bless you,
Amen.
brother.
Because that's exactly what the Shriners and Masons teach, is that Lucifer is light.
No.
And you're... See, this is what a Mason confesses, is that Lucifer is light.
So you see this European with this fez hat, okay, and he being a Shriner, okay, a Shriner, a Freemason, having this fez hat with these Arabic symbols on it, okay, these Islamic symbols on it. He believes that Lucifer is light, okay. They worship the devil basically as a Shriner, okay, as a Shriner. This is why confirming why and proving that this guy Nathaniel is a Freemason. All right, his corporation under Islamic. He is a high level Freemason. Okay, just like this guy here, okay, with his Shriner's hat, okay, with the Islamic symbols. He's a Freemason, and he believes in basically the devil is the light. Okay, this is why Nathaniel throws up these devil horns. This is why in their music video, Days of Civil Unrest, when he said faith in Christ, he threw up the devil horns. It is all making sense here. These are devil worshippers at the end of the day on a mission. Okay, these freaking secret societies, all right, infiltrating us. Okay, deceivers. This is confirming the scriptures. Okay, so we see here with the fez hat that he has on. Let's continue to make the connections.
Islam has contributed a lot to America. In the middle of the Supreme Court is, in the rotunda, is a statue or bust of the Prophet Muhammad, showing the respect that American law and jurisprudence has for the revealer of the Quran. Many of American presidents are Masons and Shriners. Many of American presidents are Masons and Shriners. Many of American presidents are Masons and Shriners. Masons and Shriners who got to the 33rd degree. Masons and Shriners who got to the 33rd degree. Masons and Shriners who got to the 33rd degree. Got to the 33rd degree and studied the Quran in secret.
I started to study Islam.
Studied the Quran in secret.
I started to study Islam.
Studied the Quran in secret.
I started to study Islam.
Studied the Quran in secret.
Those same things they do in secret.
And have the star and the crescent on their fez. So Islam is at the basis of Western and American civilization.
Muslim, Allah. So Freemasonry at the highest level worships Allah, who actually directly is Set, symbol of the moon and the star. Symbol of the moon and the star.
So confirming right here, these Freemasons at the highest level, okay, worship Allah. This is why he had his corporation labeled Islamic, because he's a high level Freemason. I showed y'all all the symbolisms, okay? And Allah is the moon god, Set, okay? The symbol of the moon and star, the symbol of the moon and star, okay? It's all connected. It's all connected here. This is why one of their images they had of a man that had chains on his neck, you'll see the crescent over his head, okay? Representing that crescent, moon, and star. This is IUIC's image here. This is his image, okay? Right there for you. Right there, okay? This Baal worship, okay? This dude has to be an Edomite, the real Edomites, okay? right there for you. Come on. I can't make this up, but I am making the connections for you, which connects to something else.
The symbol of Islam is the sickle moon and the star. The star within the sickle moon. Now, where does this symbol come from? And who is Allah? Well, let's go to some interesting quotes, also from encyclopedias of religion and etc. Allah, he was the moon god who married the sun goddess. Together they produced three goddesses who were called the daughters of Allah. These three goddesses were called Allat, Al-Uzza, and Manat. The Encyclopedia of Religion mentions that Allah is a pre-Islamic name corresponding to the Babylonian Bel. Fascinating. So this is an ancient pagan religion, and Bel, or Baal, is the deity. We read in Morals and Dogma, page 451, the Arabian word Aldebaran means the foremost or leading star, and it could only have been so named when it did precede or lead all others. The year then opened with the sun in Taurus and the multitude of ancient sculptures both in Assyria and Egypt, wherein the bull appears with lunette or crescent horns, and the disk of the sun between them, are direct allusions to important festivals of the first new moon of the year, and there was everywhere an annual celebration of the festival of the first new moon when the year opened with Sol, the sun, and Luna, the moon, in Taurus, and the symbol of Taurus is that one over there. The crescent and disk combined always represent the conjunctive sun and moon. That means basically the male-female deity. Adoration of the celestial cow, Met Veret, there's the all-seeing eye, the eye of Osiris. Here are the horns, there is the disc in the horns, and it also represented the plunging of the sun god into the womb of the mother to be born by Isis. So the horns are also a representation of the moon, the sickle moon. So in later religions, or from Babylon itself, Assyrian style, there you have the half moon with a solar disk in it. And the same over here, enlarged. Note that this is Baal Hadad, the birth of the sun. If we go to Mesopotamia, we'll find the old symbol of Baal and Bel was exactly the same, the half moon and the star in it, representing the birth of the sun. Isis and Osiris, the male-female aspect. So this would be Ashtoreth and Tammuz, or Isis and Horus, the male-female. The same you find in Egyptian, as we have already discussed it. This is Baal worship. This is Lucifer worship in his male-female form.
So you see here a huge connection with this crescent moon and star of Islam. Okay, the worship of Allah is Babylonian worship here. Okay, the same symbol that he had as his logo, being very sneaky, very crafty. Woe unto them who seek deep to hide their counsel from the Most High. This is also connected to the movie with Denzel Washington. Okay, I showed y'all before with the cross swords. Okay, back to Denzel Washington in the movie Equalizer 2, where Denzel was on a train, and then they showed you the crescent moon and star of Islam. Okay, the same symbols. Okay, like I told y'all, these movies are going to show you whom they worship. Okay, they're going to show these things, but you have to see it in plain sight. Just like with this guy, he's being very crafty with what he does. Okay, because he's a Freemason, he's a devil worshiper. These guys are devils. Okay, at the end of the day, but let's keep making the connections.
The Hittites used the symbol of the half moon and the solar deity. This symbol today, of course, is used by none other than the United Nations.
Also, this is in connection with when I showed y'all for his Passover that he had in 2015, how he had the wreath, the crescent wreath on the back of his garment with the crown. Okay, he was dressed like a Roman, and he had this crescent on the back of his garment. Why? Why is he dressing like this? Why? Because it's very occultic. It's all he has to show his true nature and who he really serves. And this is what I'm trying to get y'all to see. All right. This is what these devils do. They put these things in plain sight. But if you're not hip to it, you're not going to understand. OK, going back, OK, to this crescent, moon and star. OK, this symbol, which is also used by the UN. Like I was showing y'all through this guy, Walter Veit. All right. It's all connected here. Just like with the movie The First Purge, all right, that symbol that they were using, okay, this reef, this crescent reef, okay, it's all connected here. Just like the artist Bruno Mars at his concert had the same reef with the crown in it. Same thing on the back of his garment, okay? This guy is very occultic, but you're not gonna get it unless you start seeing these little things and putting it together, okay? Because these are devils, okay? Devils who are hiding in plain sight, New book, the Babylonians, okay? Let's see what the Babylonians was worshiping. The crescent moon and star. Okay, the 8-pointed star. Remember this, the 8-pointed star, okay? Got the dragon right here. And they tell you about the 8-pointed star, crescent moon, dragon, etc. Okay, we see that there. Okay, this is the same Babylonian worship boundary stone with a large grand by Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, it's the same thing they were worshiping. Okay, it's the same thing your leaders are worshiping. Okay, your same camp leaders and religious leaders and so forth and so on. All right, same thing. Okay, so this can confirm, as I showed y'all in the last video, okay, the Freemasonry connection of this old picture they had together with their money green garments, and they had on a pyramid on their garments, okay? All connecting back to Islam and why he throws up these symbols, okay? Again, showing his allegiance, showing his worship, again, confirming this Islamic connection of why his 501c3 was labeled Islamic. All these connections here, you can't escape. So those that want to be deceived and believe this man to be of the truth, they are deceived for a reason, because they don't truly follow the Most High God. They follow man. This is why the Most High said, Cursed be of him that trusteth in man. That trusteth in man. Since y'all don't want to trust in the Most High's word and follow these dummy doctrines, you are cursed. You are deceived by these devil worshippers. Now, another connection in their music video, okay? Death Before Dishonor. You will see very crafty. This guy has a 8-pointed star in his glasses. Okay, an 8-pointed star in his glasses. And you can see in another shot where you won't see it anymore. It'll just be regular. But here in this shot, it's clearly showing an 8-pointed star. Okay, symbolism. Let's make the connection.
This Knights Temple, we've been there before, but I want to show you something else. Remember last time I showed you the double-headed eagle? But I'm now going to point your attention to the floor. Oops. What is that? That's an 8-pointed star. Now, who does the star represent? Well, there's the Star of Islam. Isn't that interesting? The two are identical. There's the Star of Islam in various forms.
So you see here in this Knights Temple, you see this 8-pointed star of Islam connecting back to their music video, Death Before Dishonor, with him having a 8-pointed star in his glasses, hidden in plain sight. That's why in his other music video, okay, Kings in the Building, with this devil Asaph, you saw the sun going up. Okay, it's all occultic, man, and they have to put their symbols in these things. Okay, that's what these devils do. Okay, the worship of the sun. Okay, Islamic. That's why he labeled his corporation Islamic. So we see all these connections here. You can't escape. The Most High is exposing these things. So again, if you're not seeing these things, you are part of the deceived.
That's the start of Islam.
Okay? The deceived. Woe unto them who seek deep to hide their counsel from the Most High, whose works are in the dark, who say, who seeth us?
He's not in favor.
As you see in this movie, Black Gold, okay, that I showed y'all, where the Arab had the spatula or whatever, okay, he was laying the bricks down, this whole Freemasonry connection with these Arabs. As you see here, he's throwing up the 666 and he's saying Allah, okay, Allah, just like Nathaniel, he's always throwing up the 666 and the devil horns. Even Eddie Murphy does the same thing. It's all connected here. So we have to wake up and see these things. If you do not see these things, okay, then you are part of the deceived. But if you do see it and you do get it now and understand it, that means all praises to the Most High. You have been blessed to see and wake up and come out from amongst these people. Because it's high deception here. They're dealing with witchcraft, these witches and warlocks. And this is what I was showing y'all in my last 2 videos. It is high time to wake up. All right? It is all deception. As we continue to make these connections, going back to the last video, the Freemasonry connection I was making with the cross swords, okay? The symbols of ISUPK, which I showed y'all, that's where Nathaniel comes from, which is why he has his garments designed the way they are designed today. As I made those connections with the Scottish Rite swords, these Freemasonry swords, okay, it is all connected. I showed y'all that also in the movie Training Day, also showed y'all that in the movie The Mummy. Also making another huge connection here in the movie Transformers, the first one with Shia LaBeouf. Okay, they were showing the cross swords on the cube. Okay, huge connection here. The cube, which is all going back to Islam. Okay, they were in the desert, and it was showing you here this image of a skull and bones, okay? And at the bottom, you see a 33, okay? 33-degree Freemasons, okay? And they're in the desert, okay? Connection to Islam, Islamic, okay? And they were showing you the Arabs who are really the Edomites, okay? Because they're different Arab tribes. Okay, they were showing you the Arabs, all right? This is all connected. Again, this is why he has Islamic on his 501c3. Again, you see on Shia LaBeouf's shirt, you see the A and the G, okay? The A and the G, all right? Just like the formation that Iuic, the elders, were making in that old picture when they had the money green garments on with the pyramid at the bottom, okay? They was forming this pyramid like with the A, okay? It's the same thing. It's all connected. It's all connected to Freemasonry. That's the connections we're making here. It's all occultic. And then you see on the back of his sweatshirt, the same sweatshirt, it has 33 in the back. See that? 33-degree Freemasonry. They have to swear on the Quran. It's all connected back to Islam with the cross swords. Esau, Saudi Arabia. That's why, again, his corporation, Iuic, 501c3 is labeled as Islamic, okay? Because Nathaniel can possibly be an Edomite, the real Edomite, okay? And teaching you that the white man is Esau for deception. That's what you got going on here, okay? It's all connected.
The Greek letters XES, which John wrote in Greek, are actually the Arabic phrase Bismillah, which means, in the name of Allah. He says that what John saw were actually Arabic letters, which John could not read, but which bore a resemblance to the Greek alphabet in which John wrote. It would have been pointless to write symbols of another language, which could not be read by the Greek readers of Revelation. So it is very possible that the Arabic Bismillah is indeed what John saw, and recorded in Greek letters. The first symbol of 666 are the Muslim crossed swords, the X character, a symbol of Islam and jihad, which are often used by Muslims on flags and military symbols. Notice the handles on the swords. The middle E symbol is an Islamic symbol called Bismillah, Arabic for Allah, or in the name of Allah. When you turn the Bismillah on its side and place it in a mirror, it forms the same middle Greek character as written by John. Notice the line drawn above Allah and the hook on its end. The line, it is part of the word Allah, it is not an underline. Notice the same hook in the line drawn by John. It matches the line in the name Allah exactly. The third character is the Greek character stigma, which means mark or badge of servitude. The Greek XES or 666 has been noted not just in the Bismillah, but also in the Shahada, which is the Islamic confession of faith, which is what the Quran states will be written on the badge of servitude on the Day of Judgment. The XES has also been noted on an Islamic Chechen flag, which bears the crossed swords and the name Allahu Akbar, meaning God is greater. This flag bears a striking resemblance to the Greek XES, as written by John, even bearing the line above the letter E in the name Allah. It has also been noted that in the Arabic calligraphy form, the name Allahu Akbar contains 3 sixes, which can be clearly seen. Therefore, a direct connection between the name Allahu Akbar and the number 666 can be perceived.
So now, here is a huge connection, okay, dealing with, again, with IUIC, okay, and these cross swords and these swords, okay, they are participating in rituals, okay, rituals, people. They are devils, deceivers, okay, participating in things that they should not be, okay? They claim that Esau is the white man. They'll fight you tooth and nail to say he's the white man, but yet they will go and do the same rituals that they are doing. And I'm going to show you right here to prove that they are hypocrites, exactly what the Mashiach said. But check this out right here. This is IUIC's, this is a wedding feast right here. Watch this wedding feast, okay? And then you're going to see Nathaniel's daughter. I'm telling you, and this is going to go connect with another lesson that's going to be after this one. Okay, there's a wedding feast, and you're going to see his daughter stand up and throw up her right hand. Okay, she's going to throw up her right hand. Just like how they did when they went to Minnesota, and they were pretending like if they were doing right dress, right? And they all threw up their right hand on some Hitler style stuff, but I'm gonna get into that when I get to that video, okay? But watch this now.
Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Israel, hope. Face warrior. Israel. Swords up.
So after that, you see they had some swords on them, right? And they threw the swords up, cross swords, okay? Just like the Freemasons, okay? Just like the images that I showed y'all in connection with with ISUBK, okay? And the logos of the Freemasons, okay? Now watch the ritual take place now.
Right.
So he takes the sword, okay, he takes the sword and puts it on his left side and his right side, okay? This is a ritual here, but yet this is their wedding feast. Keep that in mind. This is their wedding feast and they're participating in this ritual here. Why are they doing that? Who could have possibly taught them this? So now let's make a connection to these Freemasons, okay? To these occults, okay? To these same people that they call Esau and they say, oh, he's the devil, okay? But yet they're doing the same thing as the devil. Watch this.
The authority vested in me, the Grand Prior of the United States of America, the sovereign military order of the Temple of Jerusalem. Be thou a knight. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Receive the spurs of the order.
So you see here, so-called white man dressed up like the Templars, okay, the Knight Templars, doing their ritual, the order, this occult here. And what is IUIC doing at their wedding feast? The same thing. The same thing. Who taught them? Okay. Again, Freemasonry connection. Okay. Cross swords. Okay. It's all connected. But yet, they would get up in their classrooms, get on their pedestal, and when people are exposing them, they'll just try to brush us off and try to play us like we don't know what we're talking about. We're just up here making stuff up. This shuts their whole thing down. So if you still following them, dummies, you still following these clowns, these devils, telling you one thing but doing other things, okay? Which shows that they are not a set apart people. The Most High is not a part of this. Okay? He's not a part. This is hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy.
Exactly what the Mashiach was saying. Okay? So if you're blind and you're following them, then you belong there. You belong with the deceived.
All trickery,
okay?
deceit.
Shame on you. Like the Most High said, cursed be the man that trusteth in man and make flesh his arm. Okay? It's better to put confidence in the Most High, but yet you got confidence in man.
Hypocrisy.
Shame on you. Huge connection. Let's continue to make these connections.
Exposed, we got him! It's possible the word Baphomet was a corrupted pronunciation of Mohammed. If so, some have suggested this is evidence that the Templars were secret converts to Islam.
Instruct the people.
When the Knights Templar went to the Holy Land, they were confronted with a culture that was very superior to their own. So some influences began to settle in the general ideology of the Templars.
Godspeed your way. Our way lies together with the state of Allah. Our way lies together with the state of Allah.
Same thing the Muslims do. So we see huge connections. Now, if we go to the movie Robin Hood, okay, with Morgan Freeman, okay, you will see Morgan Freeman. He was saying, He was talking to the white man, basically, who was the seed of the Templars, okay, today your modern day Christians, okay, and he was telling him our way lies together with the speed of Allah. Okay, our way lies together with the speed of Allah, okay, making that connection with the Freemasons to the Islam, okay, and why they have to swear on the Quran at the 32nd or 33rd degree, okay, that's the connection here, okay, them working together. Okay, just like the Most High said in Ezekiel chapter, 36 and 5, that the heathen and Esau stole our land. But these clowns will read that same scripture and they'll just say Esau.
Some of y'all dummies.
And forget about the heathen that's there. Okay, the heathen is the so-called white man. Esau is the Arab, one of the Arab tribes. Okay. And as you see here, our way lies together with the speed of Allah. Okay, the European, okay, and Esau, the Arab, and that's who Morgan Freeman is playing here in this role. Okay, they even showed you the crescent here that he had over his head. Okay, which goes back to another scripture, but I'm gonna bring that out in Mystery Babylon when I work on that lesson. Okay, it's all connected.
Some of y'all dummies.
So now, in this last section, okay, we're going to show you how Nathaniel, because he was probably pressed by this thing before in the past, okay, this whole tax exempt thing, and he tried to justify it. He did a lesson on it, and he tried to justify it. So we're going to analyze this thing here, okay, his justification for this 501c3 tax exempt, and we're going to expose it to see how much of a liar and a deceiver he really is. Okay, but first, let me read this scripture, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 13. But evil men, and I'm showing you all the evil in connection with this guy, okay, and seducers, okay, deceiving you, alluring you into his congregation, which was under Islam, okay, shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. I think this is very important. The scripture makes so much sense for right now. So we're going to examine his case that he's making and show you the scriptures that he's going to bring out. And then we're going to examine them to show you how much of a liar and a deceiver he really is. So let's get into it.
We couldn't have Israel united. At one point when we grow, we get big, we got to deal with Esau's paperwork.
That's right.
Okay? We got to deal with them.
So he says here, when we get big, we have to deal with Esau's paperwork. I find that very funny, especially a guy who's calling Esau the white man and the devil. Okay, you're calling him the devil, and you're saying now, since we getting big, we have to deal with
Esau's paperwork.
What kind of message are you sending to our brothers and sisters out there? Basically, you're saying it's okay to go sign a deal with the devil. So I might as well go chase the music industry. Okay, I might as well go do something stupid like that. Then I might as well go sign a deal with the devil. That's what you're saying. Unless you don't mean it like that.
Gotta deal with Esau's paperwork.
If you're saying the white man is the devil, and now since we're getting big, we have to deal with their paperwork because according to the IRS, you don't have to sign a 501c3. It is not necessary. You don't have to do that at all. Okay, the only ones doing it are these money-hungry pastors, okay, making all these millions and don't even care about their people. Okay, that's why they're doing it. All right, so what kind of message are you sending here? It's okay to deal with the devil then, basically what you're saying, which again is hypocrisy. Clowns.
First Maccabees chapter 10 and verse 29. And now do I free you, and for your sake I release all the Jews from tributes, and from the customs of salt, and from crown taxes.
And from crown taxes.
So now they pulled out First Maccabees chapter 10 and verse 28 and 29, okay? When it says about the Jews being released from tributes, okay, and crown taxes, okay? All right, cool. But let's go back a little bit, okay, to get the context of why they were free from these crown taxes. See, that's the thing we have to do. We have to look beneath the surface. It's just like being on a Titanic, all right? When the Titanic went down, they saw the tip of the iceberg. They didn't look, beneath the surface to see how big it was. If they knew how big it was, they would have probably made that turn and got out of there. Okay, so let's go beneath the surface and go back and start at verse 7. Okay, First Maccabees chapter 10, verse 7, and let's read to see why they were free from crown taxes and paying tributes. Okay, then came Jonathan to Jerusalem. He came to Jerusalem, was not in captivity. Okay, and read the letters in the audience of all the people, okay, and of them that were in the tower. Okay, let's jump up to verse 10 and 11. This done, Jonathan settled himself in Jerusalem, and began to build. So he was in Jerusalem and began to build and repair the city, okay, in Jerusalem, not in captivity. And he commanded the workmen to build the walls in Mount Zion round about with square stones for fortification, and they did so. Okay, then we can jump down to 28 and 29, which he read, and will grant you many immunities and give you rewards. And now do I free you, and for your sake I release all the Jews from tributes and from the customs of salt and from crown taxes. Okay, that's when they were in their land, building up their land, building up Jerusalem. Not setting up these pagan chapels, these churches, okay, the chapels of the heathen all over where they are in captivity, okay, to make this money off of them, okay, seducing, okay, deceiving people for money, the 501c3, tax exempt, okay. That's why they got free from taxes, because they were building up their land. Why not take the money and go back to our land and build up? Not set up these pagan churches all over. Okay, and then you're teaching lies in there. And you're putting people in heavy burdens in there. This is not of the Most High. But let's continue and see what they say.
As for any oversight or fault committed unto this day, we forgive it. And the crown tax also, which ye owe us. And if there were any other tribute paid in Jerusalem, it shall no more be paid.
So you see how the kings had programs set up to free the Israelites from taxes. There were certain things set up to give them liberty to rebuild their land. Dummies, to rebuild their land. Dummies.
So he's saying here that the kings had programs set up. Like they really had programs set up. Like that's really what the scriptures was saying. It didn't say that the kings had programs set up for the Jews. Okay, it did not say that at all. It just said that they were free from paying the taxes and the tributes. That's all. It didn't say they had programs. You have a program. Okay, you have that program. Like I said before, you don't need to be tax exempt to have a church. You can have your own church or your own business or whatever and do your own thing. You don't need to be tax exempt under the 501c3, which puts your people in a stranglehold with the government, puts your headship under the state control. Okay. But let's go back to the scriptures here and let's go back to see why. Because he said, oh, they were building up Jerusalem. Yeah, they were building up Jerusalem, not building up their captivities. Okay. We need to get ready to go home. Not building up our captivity. But let's start here. First Maccabees chapter 13. We're going to go back to verse 33. Then Simon built up the strongholds in Judea. Again, they were back in the land. Fenced them about with high towers and great walls and gates and bars and laid up victuals therein. Then we can jump down to 39 where he read, as for any oversight or fault committed unto this day, we forgive it. Okay, they ain't say we setting up, they got programs for us. And the crown tax also, which you owe us, they forgive it. And if there were any other tribute paid to Jerusalem, you shall no more be paid. It didn't say that the king had programs set up for us. It's just that we wasn't paying no taxes no more, and we were back in our land, building up our land. But you see how he's twisting it. Oh, the kings had programs for us to build. We build it ourselves. They didn't have a program set for us. Like, here, we got these things set up for y'all so you can go build up your land. No, we're going to not charge you anymore, and y'all can go do what y'all do. We don't have no interference with what y'all doing. Like how the church or the government should not have any interference with what you're doing. Okay? So right here is just exposing this clown, man.
Also we certify you that touching any of the priests and Levites, singers, porters, Nethinims, or ministers of this house of God, it shall not be lawful to impose toll, tribute, or custom upon them.
So once again, he's making his case using Ezra chapter 7 verse 24 to make his case. But once again, we have to go beneath the surface to find out why. And again, they were back in Jerusalem. But we're going to start back at verse 13. Okay, Ezra chapter 7 verse 13. I make a decree that all they of the people of Israel and of his priests and Levites in my realm, which are minded of their own free will to go up to Jerusalem, go with thee. See that? They were going back to their land. Verse 16. And all the silver and gold that thou canst find in all the province of Babylon, with the free will offering of the people and of the priests offering willingly for the house of their Elohim, which is in Jerusalem. Okay, so they were going to take all that stuff and go back to Jerusalem. Even when you read even further more back, okay, they were going back to their land to build. That was always the case for them being tax exempt, if you want to use that term, okay, or free from paying tolls or tributes. They were always going back to their land. It's not that they were in captivity and being free of paying taxes, and now they can just they were building up, in their captivities. That wasn't the case here. All right, that was not the case. Okay, so again, being in a 501c3, the government has your headship. Okay, it's not that this is the only way you can do something for your people is by being tax exempt, because no, that's the Christian pastor way. That's the Creflo Dollar TD Snakes way. Okay? Filthy lucre way. Okay? You don't have to go that route. Okay? Because people want to know what's up with their money. That's what the people want to know. What's up with their money? Okay?
What we want to know, IUIC, is where our money went. Can y'all just answer that?
I don't know if y'all noticed, this ain't cheap here.
Where is our money going? Where did my money go when I was with you guys? Where did the money go? You never showed us any receipts. You just said, brothers and sisters is going for a good cause. Where? Okay? Your garments are getting nicer and nicer and nicer and nicer.
I got the Bible in my hand, but I'm not going to do what it says.
Houses getting bigger and bigger. Cars getting nicer and more luxurious. Where is our money going?
Do we steal? You better believe it.
All the money that I put into that fundraising and not the fundraising, but the baking staff and all that, I want my money back. Where's my refunds for that? Because I heard that you guys, Gabar, you guys weren't supposed to do that. That money wasn't supposed to come out of our pocket. It's supposed to come from the alms from the congregation. but it came out of my pocket. So we just want to know where our money's going. Can you guys tell us that? Where are all the receipts? Where are all the receipts? If you guys are saying our money or your members' money, since I'm not in that cult, your members' money is going to traveling and this and that, show the receipts to the congregation. Let them know where their money is going. Okay? I mean, even the white men do that.
The Edomite, the devil, the white man.
At one point when we grow and we get big, we got to deal with Esau's paperwork.
That's right.
Okay? We got to deal with them.
Even the white men do that.
Dummies.
Even the white men do that.
Dummies.
Okay? I mean, even the white men do that. Even the white men have receipts. Okay? So, for you guys who are still with them, ask them where your money's going. That's not a hard question. That's not a sin to ask that.
A lot of people pay their income tax on that Passover. I'm going to tell you what they used to tell us after every Passover. This is what they tell you. Start saving right now for next year's Passover. So by the time you get here, you don't have no excuses about money to get you to the Passover. You have to be there. They'll say stuff like, yeah, keeping Passover in your hometown is weak. Who wouldn't want to be there where the elders is at? Everybody there in Israel. It's a beautiful thing. So right after Passover, they tell you to start saving right now for next year's Passover so you can make sure that you're there. That's burdensome to a lot of people. Because if I got 4 kids in my house, 5-bedroom house, 2 car payments, okay, and things of that nature, things that is conducive that I need to help me get past in this captivity, I don't have money to set aside. It's $500 for a family of 5, and I believe like $200 per single brother. And that's not including hotel and travel. The hotel and traveling is not included in that. What you're paying for is a part of the festivity. So when you get there, you might be there for 2 days, and I think they have their own breakfast and their own lunch. You're paying for that and being a part of the festivity. But your hotel fees and what you're going to pay traveling to get there is not included in that $500. You fill out the registration and you pay your $500 to go on the list to be a part of Passover. And you have this thing called watch and read, because you have different people that are cartoonists and different people that want to contribute things, to the body, because there's a lot of different talents. You got musicians, you got artists, you got a lot of different, people within the body of IUIC, and they, contribute things free of charge. And of course, those things go into play that contributes to, the movement of everything. They still got the IUIC Booster Club, other prophets travel to other parts of the globe, and all these other different things that are set up for you to contribute to while these things is going on. That's why I used to always question, how is it that you're asking for more money?
I've had schools raising men up who have never given alms. Are you kidding me? Trickery, deceit.
That's why I used to always question, how is it that you're asking for more money when it seems like you have enough stuff that is set up outside of the body for revenue? Because I'm on slack, and there's officers, captains, and soldiers, and people asking for help. I need $300, my child support this. You see these type of call-outs on Slack. People need help with money. So it'll never come from the leadership. What they'll do is, they'll be like, okay, if we all come together and pitch in $5 a piece, it'll be that for that. Now, there's 600 people on Slack, and a brother needs $300, and he won't get it.
Do we steal? You better believe it.
600 people on Slack, and a brother needs $300, and he won't get it.
Do we steal? You better believe it.
600 people on Slack, and a brother needs $300, and he won't get it.
Do we steal? You better believe it.
Are upset with the ways that Israel United in Christ is being ran.
Absolutely. First and foremost, my name is Sean. I was in the body for 2 years. Is there people disgruntled? Yes, there are. There's people that are disgruntled, and there's people that are overly burdened, because from the time that you come in, there's a certain standard that you are to be held, that you're being held to. Like before I left, I was a soldier prior to me leaving. And one of the most burdensome things is they tell you that 3 times a year that you have to be where the elders is at. So wherever they at 3 times a year, that's actually, they make it like it's a commandment, but sometimes you don't know the difference between what a commandment is and protocol. The protocol is just like getting commandments from the Bible, but it just ain't no scripture. But you're still looked upon when you don't follow the protocol.
So
yeah, there's a lot of people that are burned in there. And I'm going to use the word burned because people are burned in there, man.
So you saying they're like in bondage inside the organization?
Well, yeah, basically, because here's the thing. If there's something wrong, you basically can't say nothing because it's always, it's like a reverse psychology tactic. Like, you're out of the spirit. Or, brother, if you become mad about anything, you can have every right to be upset about something. Brother, you're acting effeminate right now.
So you see from these 2 ex-members of IUIC, they concerned about the money, all right, that they've spent. Okay, this sister, Gina Blue, okay, deceiving your own people, deceiving your own kind, okay. Then this other brother from an ex-member from IUIC was explaining many situations, okay, where it would be brothers in that group that need $300 to pay child support or whatever, and they can't get it. And it's all of y'all. Y'all got this whole big team, but yet brothers still broke. Brothers still need a hand. Okay, and this is why people are leaving, because they seeing this stuff going on here. Okay, IUIC is not what you think. Okay, these people are in burdens here. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 11. Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely.
You're not going to be raised up.
Okay? Neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another.
Trickery, deceit.
And that's what they're doing for filthy lucre. Okay? Making it seem like they have to be tax. You don't have to be tax exempt to help your people. You can still help your people without the government interference. Okay, especially if you're claiming that Esau is the white man and he's the devil, and then you go and jump into bed with him. Okay, that's hypocrisy, man. That's hypocrisy right there. Okay, straight hypocrisy. Okay, ripping off your own people, charging your people for Passover, charging your people all this money for Passover, and the money you're charging them don't even pay for their hotel. It don't even pay for their flight. Okay. But you're getting all this money. All these things are set up to bring all this money in. And you're still not helping your people for filthy lucre.
Do we steal? You better believe it.
If y'all notice, this ain't cheap here.
So now let's end this. Okay. Since they claim to be IUIC, okay, united in Christ, okay, supposed to be followers of Christ. Let's see if the one they call Christ, the Mashiach, let's see if he would approve of this 501c3. Okay, because quiet is kept. The Mashiach, he was against tax exemption. He was against that. Okay, so let's see if you're really followers of Christ. Let's go here. Mark chapter 12, verse 14 through 16. And when they were come, they say unto him, Master, we know that thou art true and carest for no man, for thou regardest not the person of men, but teachest the way of the Most High in truth. Is it lawful to give tribute to Caesar? Remember, they were in bondage to the Romans. Okay, and they never called the Romans Edomites, by the way. That's just a side note. They were called heathens and Gentiles. Okay, or not. So he's asking them, should they pay taxes? Right? Shall we give or shall we not give? But he, knowing their hypocrisy, said unto them, why tempt ye me? Bring me a penny, that I may see it. And they brought it, and he said unto them, whose is this image and superscription? And they said unto him, Caesar's. Let's jump down to verse 17. And Mashiach answering said unto them, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to Elohim the things that are Elohim's. And they marveled at him. So right here, verse 17, the Mashiach is saying, give to him what belongs to him. Pay your damn taxes. Do not be tax exempt. The Mashiach was not for being tax exempt. Pay your tributes. You in bondage? Pay it. Okay? Pay it. All right? Pay your fare, comb your hair. Pay your fare, comb your hair. So the Mashiach was against it. Okay? But yet your leaders are all for it because they're for that money. Like your Christian pastors throwing up these devil horns and all of these things. These Freemasons. They're all on the same page. Okay? But the Mashiach spoke against these modern day Pharisees like Iuic. Okay? But let's get it here. Matthew chapter 23 verse 25. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees.
Hypocrisy.
Hypocrites. Again, for you make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess. Yes, extortion.
I don't know if y'all noticed,
making all this money. It's all about the money. It's not really about the truth of the Most High God, because you wouldn't be putting your people in bondage talking about, oh, you got to come where I'm at for the Passover. Who wouldn't want to be where I'm at? That's prideful, dude. That's putting people in bondage that don't even have it. Okay, charging them all this money just to be where you at, just to keep Passover where you at, when we really supposed to be keeping Passover in the land. I got a lesson on that, by the way. Okay, they full of extortion and access. Okay, they ain't talking about going back over there to build up the land. Just setting up these same pagan churches, these same churches.
You're not going to be
making
raised
this
up.
money.
Okay?
That's what
You're
it's
gonna
about.
Stay in that position forever.
Okay, but let's go here. Titus chapter 1 verse 7. For a bishop, Bishop Nathaniel, must be blameless. And as we can see, all the things that we have brought out, this man is not blameless. So he should not be called Bishop Nathaniel. Okay, more like Free Case Ray. Okay, not Bishop Nathaniel. Okay, because ain't no man blameless. But yet these IUIC flunkies are praising him like he's the closest thing to the Mashiach or the closest thing to the Most High. Okay, as a steward of the Most High, not self-willed, not soon angry, not given to wine, no striker. Not given to filthy.
We gotta deal with Esau's paperwork.
And when you sign up for that 501c3, that's what it's all about. That filthy lucre, man. Getting that money. Verse 10 and 11. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers.
I don't know if y'all noticed. This ain't cheap.
Yes, they are. Especially they of the circumcision. Yeah, especially them. Whose mouths must be stopped.
You're not going to be raised up.
Who subvert whole houses. Yes. Yes, teaching things which they ought not for filthy lucre's sake. All right, like that dumb 12 tribe chart, okay, bringing all these heathens into the congregation for filthy lucre. Okay, that's gentrification right there. That's part of what the government wants. Of course, because he's a freaking third grade detective working with the government. Okay. So the doctrines are all making sense why he's saying the things that he says. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 2. Feed the flock of the Most High, which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraints. Oh, you got to be where the elders is at. You got to be where we at. And charging this and charging that and still asking for more money on top of that. But willingly, not for filthy lucre.
Raising men up who have never given alms. Are you kidding me?
But of a ready mind. Romans chapter 16 verse 18. For they that are such serve not our Elohim. Okay. Our Mashiach, HaMashiach. Okay. Not the one they call Christ. But their own belly.
I don't know if y'all noticed. This ain't belly.
And by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple.
You are not going to be raised up.
That's why all these flunkies are following them, because they are deceived. You see a man in a garment, you see he set up his own little pedestal, and you think it's the work of the Most High, not knowing it could possibly very well be the work of the devil. Okay, and that's why we're exposing this Islamic connection and this 501c3 connection here. Okay, Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 9. Okay, we're going to start here. There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man, a man
who have
that
never
wants.
given alms.
Okay?
Are you kidding me?
For such as one setteth his own soul to sale. Yeah, and sold out to the devil. That's what they did. They done sold out to the devil. Ain't no more, there's no more wicked man than that. Okay? Because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. Sold his soul. And that's why he throw up these devil horns just like the rest of these devil worshippers. Okay? But let's get this last scripture here and see what the Mashiach say. Matthew chapter 23, bringing it back. Verse 27 and 28. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites!
Hypocrisy.
For ye are like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones.
We're not defiled with the wickedness of the world.
And of all uncleanness. Even so, ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men. Yeah, that's right. With those Masonic purple garments on, okay, with the Freemasonry designs, right? But within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity, sin. So the Mashiach is telling you exactly about these dudes, these modern day Pharisees. The Mashiach is pointing it right out. And that's what we are dealing with. These brothers then set themselves up.
I don't know if y'all noticed, this ain't cheap here.
Appearing like they're righteous on the outside, but inwardly they're wolves. So we expose this whole thing, the Islamic connection, the 501c3 connection for filthy lucre. Okay, this whole Freemasonry connection has been exposed. Okay, this dude is a freaking Edomite, the real Edomites. Okay. So there y'all go. All these connections. It's up to you to believe or not. That's why we got to seek this truth ourselves, study ourselves. Okay? Seek the kingdom. There's nothing wrong with coming together. Ain't nothing wrong with coming together. But you got to watch for these devils making backdoor deals with our enemies.
When we grow, we get big. We got to deal with Esau's paperwork.
Into more captivity, leading you to your destruction, okay? Giving your information to the government. This dude is a 3rd grade detective. Think about that. How many people did he have to put away to make 3rd grade detective? We're going to get to that in the next lesson. So on that note, I'm going to say shalom.
Many of our forefathers in law enforcement.